Hello friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and if you are new here, kindly subscribe. In this tutorial we are going to learn how to crochet this beautiful beanie. I'm using these two colors and a 3mm crochet hook. Then the first step, you are going to make a slip knot. After making a slip knot, adjust this loop of the slip knot to fit the size of your crochet hook. And our foundation chain, we are going to chain the height of the beanie, including the brim. So for the foundation chain, I'm going to chain 33 centimeters, which is about 13 inches. If you are making this for an adult, you are going to chain between 13 to 15 inches. That is about 38 centimeters. This size I'm making, I'm going to chain 33 centimeters. So for this blue color, I'm going to chain 20 centimeters. Then I add this gray color, so that I chain 13 centimeters. So in total, I'll have 33 centimeters as my foundation chain. Then tie this loose end of the yarn you have added to the yarn you are chaining with. Leave the blue yarn. We are coming to work with it, so don't cut it. Then continue chaining. For me, I'll continue chaining until the total length of my foundation chain measures 33 centimeters. That is about 13 inches. So after chaining 33 centimeters, I'm going to chain one more so that I begin working now. Skip the first chain into the second chain from the back loop, yarn over, go through and pull up a loop. You have 3 loops on your hook. This first loop, pull it through the other 2 this way. This is like half double crochet slip stitch. Yarn over, go to the next stitch from back loop, draw up a loop, and this loop, draw it through the other loops. Yarn over, go to the next stitch from the back loop. You go through from the back loop, draw up a loop, and this loop you draw it through the other 2 loops on your crochet hook. Yarn over, go to the next stitch from the back loop, draw up a loop, and this loop, pull it through the other 2 loops that way. So that is how you are going to continue. Then I meet you where we are changing colors. When I have this last one, I go through this way, draw up a loop. When I have 3 loops on my hook, drop this gray yarn at the back, pick this blue yarn, use it to complete this way. Then now bring the gray yarn from the back to the front this way, and continue working now to the other side, making 1 double crochet slip stitch from the back loops, the way we were working with the gray color. So you go through the back loop of this blue color, draw a loop, and this loop you pull it through the other 2 loops this way. You'll continue that way, yarn over, go to the next stitch from the back loop, draw up a loop, and pull the loop through other 2 loops on your crochet hook, and you'll continue that way. to the other end, making 1/2 double crochet slip stitch into every stitch across from the back loops only. I'm at the end here working on the last half double crochet slip stitch, and this is how it looks. To begin row 2, you are going to chain 1 and turn. After turning, we are still going to work from back loops. You see these 2 loops appearing at the top here, these 2 loops, one facing away from you, another one facing you. We are going to work on the loops facing away from you. So beginning with this first one, make 1/2 double crochet slip stitch, yarn over, go to the next stitch from the back loop, make 1/2 double crochet slip stitch, just the way we were working the previous row, making 1/2 double crochet slip stitch to every stitch from the back loops, going to the other side where we are changing color. Then when you have 1 stitch left, go through, draw up a loop. When you have these 3 loops on your hook, drop the blue color at the back, pick the gray color and use it to complete this way. Then now bring the blue yarn to this side, and you can now continue making 1/2 double crochet slip stitch from the back loop into every stitch across, the way we have been working. So continue making 1/2 double crochet slip stitch from the back loops until the end. I'm at the end working on the last half double crochet. To go to the next row, chain 1 and turn your work. You yarn over the first stitch from the back loop, you make 1/2 double crochet slip stitch, yarn over, go to the next stitch from the back loop, make 1/2 double crochet slip stitch, and you continue working that way. Then I meet you where we are changing color. When you have 1 stitch left, when you go through and draw up a loop, when you have these 3 loops on your hook, drop the gray color, pick this blue, use it to complete this way. Now bring the gray color to this other side. Then you now proceed working with this other color downwards. Actually, that is the pattern, just repeating 1 row and work that way. Continue working. This is actually a 1 row repeat pattern, so you are going to repeat that way, making 1/2 double crochet slip stitch into every stitch across from the back loop until you have the number of rows that measures your head circumference. After working for 39 centimeters, this is what I have. So work the number of rows that will go around your head or measure your head circumference, and that is what you are going to work. For me, I have worked rows that measure 40 centimeters. All these rows measure 40 centimeters. I'm done making it, and it looks the same on both sides. The next thing, you are going to fold, then we do the stitching. So you fold, and I'm going to begin with this blue color. Go through the back loop on one side and the back loop of the other side. Pull yarn through both loops this way. You chain 1, then onwards you go through the back loop on one side and the back loop of the other side. Draw a loop through both loops, then draw this loop through the first loop you have on your crochet hook. Repeat that. You go through back loop of this side and the back loop of the other part. You pull a loop through and pull the loop through the loop on your crochet hook, and you are going to continue stitching that way until you have 8 centimeters, which is about 3 inches for the brim or the folding of this beanie. So when you have 8 centimeters left for the brim, turn it the right side facing outwards, then continue stitching just the way we were doing, going through the back loop of this part or side and the back loop of the other side. Pull yarn through both loops and pull it through the loop you have on your crochet hook, and continue that way just the way we were doing. So you'll continue stitching until the end. When you get at the end, you chain 1 and cut. Then you are going to turn it the right side facing inside and the wrong side facing outside. Then stitch this gray along that we did with the blue. So you will attach this gray yarn, tie once to secure, and stitch across. When you get at the end, you chain 1 and pull this yarn through this loop so that we close the top of this beanie. This yarn, you will attach it to a needle, then you will be doing a zigzag stitch, going in and out of these stitches at the top here. You go in and out of all these stitches at the top of this beanie, making a zigzag stitch. Go round until you come to the beginning point where you started going round. After that, you pull this yarn so that to close this beanie, and the portion that will be left, because it will not close completely, you are going to stitch this way. You go through a stitch at the top, you pull this yarn and try to pull and close at the top here, and continue stitching at the top until you completely close this top part of this beanie. You go through these loops at the top until you completely close this beanie at the top. When you are done, you secure your yarn this way. Secure it the second time and cut the excess. Then you are going to weave in any loose ends you have, like this one. I will tie them and tie the second time. Then the remaining I will weave through some stitches this way. You go through some stitches and pull these yarns and cut the excess. So we are done making this, and this is how beautiful it looks. I hope this tutorial was helpful to you. If it was, kindly like, share, comment, subscribe, then I'll see you in my next tutorial.